Marcus Halle walked alone along the quiet road that led from the space dock to the small town on the hill. It was almost midnight, and most people were asleep. Only the street lamps burned with their soft yellow glow, stretching long shadows across the empty pavement. Marcus rubbed his tired eyes and let out a breath. It had been another long day of fixing cargo drones and repairing old landing pads. He only wanted to reach home, eat something warm, and fall into bed. Above him, the night sky was clear and full of stars. He liked nights like this. They made him feel calm. The stars never changed, even when everything else did. But tonight, something strange happened. As he walked, he noticed a flicker of light in the sky. It was faint at first, almost like a shooting star. Then it grew brighter and brighter. Marcus stopped. The light split into two bright dots moving fast across the sky. Too fast. He frowned and stepped back, watching them drop lower and lower. They were not falling like meteors. They were weaving, almost like they were trying to control their fall. "What is that?" Marcus whispered to himself. He waited for the usual rumble of an aircraft engine, but there was nothing. Only silence. Then the two lights shot across the treetops and vanished into the forest beside the road. A second later, a soft boom rolled through the ground, and a burst of blue sparks lit up the trees. Marcus jumped. His heart thudded hard in his chest. Something had crashed. Something small, but powerful. His first thought was that it was a drone. Malfunction, maybe one of those private courier drones that flew too fast for their own good. But drones did not glow blue, and they did not split into two lights like that. Marcus looked around. The road was empty. No cars, no people. Only him. He swallowed and took a slow breath. I should go home. That was the smart choice. The safe choice, but something deep inside him said, check it. Someone could be hurt. He sighed. Marcus had always been like this. Even when he tried to mind his own business, trouble seemed to pull him in. Just a quick look, he told himself, and stepped off the road into the forest. The air felt cooler under the trees. The ground was soft with fallen leaves, and small insects clicked in the grass. Marcus tried to walk quietly, but twigs snapped under his boots. Somewhere ahead, he saw a faint blue glow. His pulse quickened, and he moved faster. As he approached the glowing spot, the smell of burned metal filled the air. Branches were bent and broken, and a small trench had been carved into the earth, as if something had skidded through it before stopping. At the end of the trench was a round, metallic pod the size of a large backpack. It hissed softly, releasing thin streams of light blue vapor. Marcus crouched beside it. What in the world? Before he could touch the pod, he heard a rustle behind him. He turned quickly, ready to see a wounded animal, another pod, or maybe just the wind stirring the leaves. But what he saw instead made him freeze. Standing a few steps away were two tiny figures, no taller than his knee. Their skin had a faint blue glow, just like the pod. Their large, silver eyes stared at him with fear and hope mixed together. They looked like children, alien children. Marcus's breath caught in his chest. This was impossible. This couldn't be real. The two tiny beings stepped closer. They looked identical, same small faces, same glowing skin, same thin antenna-like strands on their heads. Twins. The one on the left reached out a tiny hand, its fingers trembling. Its voice was soft, shaky, and not quite human. Please help us." Marcus felt his stomach drop. His hands went cold. He could hardly form words. "Help you? With what? Are you hurt?" The second twin grabbed Marcus's pant leg with surprising strength for such a small body. It looked up at him, eyes wide. "They are coming." The forest suddenly seemed too quiet. No insects. No breeze. Not even the distant sound of the road. Marcus's heartbeat grew louder in his ears. "Who is coming?" he whispered. The twins looked at each other, then back at him. Their glowing faces were pale with fear. The first twin stepped closer, its voice barely a whisper. "They want us." Then the second twin spoke, its voice trembling with terror. "They want you too." Marcus felt the words slam into him like ice. Before he could ask anything else, a deep humming sound echoed through the trees. Red lights flashed between the branches. Something was moving toward them, something big. Marcus knew one thing instantly: whatever those lights belonged to, they were not friendly, and they were coming fast. The humming sound grew louder, turning into a deep metal growl that made the ground shake. Red lights danced between the trees like angry eyes searching for prey. Marcus felt every muscle in his body tighten. The tiny alien twins clung to his legs, trembling. Their glowing blue skin flickered like weak lantern flames. Marcus did not have time to think. "Come on," he whispered sharply. He scooped one twin into his arms. The other grabbed his shirt and ran beside him with quick, panicked steps. Marcus moved fast, trying to be silent, but branches cracked under his boots as he pushed deeper into the forest. Behind them, something big was moving. Many things. Mechanical legs, heavy ones. The metal growl turned into sharp clicking. Like claws sliding over stone. The twins looked back and whimpered. Marcus did not look back. He didn't want to see what chased them. Not yet. They ran through tall pines and hanging vines, weaving between shadows. The moonlight barely reached the forest floor here. Every step felt like stepping into a dark mouth ready to swallow them. "Ho! Keep going," Marcus breathed, more to himself than to the twins. The twin in his arms shook violently. "They found our pod. They will find us." "Not if we move," Marcus said, his voice steady but his heart pounding so hard it hurt. They reached a fallen tree lying across the path. Marcus jumped over it, almost slipping on the damp bark. The other twin struggled to climb, so Marcus grabbed it and pulled it over. The humming behind them grew louder. Much louder. Red beams of light shot through the trees and burned lines across the ground near Marcus's feet. He gasped and ran harder. Laser scanners. Search units. They were being hunted. The forest turns cold. The air felt colder now. Too cold. Marcus could see the twins' skin glowed stronger, their fear mixing with something else. Energy. "Marcus," the twin in his arms whispered, saying his name for the first time. "You must not stop. If they catch you, the Vraks will take your light." "My what?" Marcus panted. "Your core light. It is very strong." "Lie. Don't know what that is." "You will," the twin said in a sad voice. "But only if you live." Marcus' trees cracked and fell as something huge pushed through them. Marcus dared to glance back, and his blood ran cold. 3 tall machines stepped into the clearing. 6-legged hunters shaped like giant metal spiders. Their glowing red eyes scanned the ground. Their claws clicked like knives. Their bodies were black and covered in sharp spikes. The machines turned their heads toward Marcus and the twins. They saw them. Marcus swore under his breath. "Run!" He sprinted so fast his lungs burned, the twin in his arms gripping his shirt tightly. The other twin ran beside him, barely keeping up with his longer strides. The machine screeched. A horrible sound, half metal, half living. Beams of red light shot across the trees. One beam hit a trunk beside Marcus, cutting it clean in half. The tree collapsed in a shower of leaves. Marcus jumped aside, rolling on the ground to avoid. Second beam. He scrambled up and kept running. "We can't keep running forever," he shouted. "No," the twin agreed. "But we can hide." "Where?" "Underground." Marcus blinked, confused, but then he remembered the old mining tunnels. Hidden entrance. They reached a line of large boulders at the edge of the forest. Hidden behind them, Marcus knew, was a small entrance to the abandoned mine tunnels. He had played there as a kid before the town sealed most of it. He pushed aside a thick curtain of vines. Behind it was a small opening, just tall enough for him to crawl through. "This way," he said. The twins slipped inside first, their small glowing bodies lighting the narrow passage. Marcus crawled in after them. As soon as they were inside, he pulled a large fallen branch and blocked the entrance just as a red beam sliced across the rock face. The machines screeched outside. They were close, into the dark underworld inside the tunnel. Darkness wrapped around them like heavy cloth. The only light came from the twins' skin, glowing soft blue, like tiny lanterns floating in the air. Marcus breathed heavily and leaned against the cold stone wall. His heart was racing so fast it felt like it might break free from his chest. Twins stared up at him, their eyes still wide with fear. "Are we safe?" Marcus whispered. The twins shook their heads slowly. "No," said the first twin. The second added, "They will not stop." The Vraks never stop. Marcus closed his eyes. For a moment, they weren't safe yet. Not even close. And whatever the Vraks wanted, they wanted him most of all. The mining tunnel felt like a cold underground throat, swallowing all sound and light. Marcus leaned against the stone wall, trying to calm his shaking breath. The tiny alien twins stood close to him, their faint blue glow the only thing keeping the darkness away. Outside, the metal hunters scraped and clipped over the rocks searching. Their red beams cut through the night like angry knives, but they could not reach inside the narrow tunnel. For now the three of them were safe, but only for now. Marcus crouched down so he could be eye level with the twins. "Okay, you need to tell me what is going on. Who are those things? What do they want from you? And what is this core light you keep talking about?" The twins exchanged a worried look. Their small faces were tight and pale. Then, one of them stepped closer. "We are from the Lyran people," it said softly. "We travel through the stars to learn, to study, to understand. We do not fight, we do not harm." The other twin added, "But the Vraks do. They hunt, they take, they destroy." Marcus swallowed. He'd heard alien rumors before, stories of visitors from far systems, but most people laughed at them. Yet, here he was, inside a tunnel, holding two glowing children from another world while metal monsters searched outside. "This is insane," he whispered. "Why come here? Why Earth?" The twins shook their heads. "We did not come for Earth. We were passing by. A storm in space damaged our pod. We fell from the sky. The Vraks saw our crash and followed." Marcus felt a cold knot tighten in his stomach. He rubbed his forehead. "So those things, they're here for you." The twins looked at him with wide silver eyes. "Not only for us," one said. "They are here for you too," the other finished. Marcus froze. "Me? Why me? I'm a mechanic, not a space hero." The first twin stepped forward and gently touched his wrist. Marcus felt a warm pulse, like a heartbeat that wasn't his own. "You carry the core light," the twin whispered. "It is a rare life energy that exists in some beings across the universe. But in you, it is stronger than we have ever seen." Marcus blinked. "I have energy? In me? Like some kind of battery?" The twin shook its head. "Not a battery. A force. A spark of mind and spirit. A light that cannot be copied. It is part of who you are." The second twin added, "The Vraks want it. They steal core light from others to grow their power." Marcus stepped back, shaking his head. "You're saying they want to what? Take it out of me?" The twins lowered their heads. "If they take it," one whispered sadly, "your body will live, but you will not." Marcus felt ice spread through his chest. His hands went numb. He turned and leaned against the tunnel wall, breathing fast. He was being hunted not because he helped the twins, but because he carried something inside him he never knew existed. "How long have the Vraks known I have this light?" he asked quietly. "Since the moment they came near our crash pod," said the first twin. "Your energy is strong. It calls to them." Marcus shook his head again, trying to make sense of it. He had never felt special. He was just Marcus from the docks, from the small town, living a normal, simple life. This is crazy. I fix broken engines. I clean rust. I don't even win arguments at work, he said with a humorless laugh. Why would I have something powerful inside me? The twins approached him together and placed their tiny glowing hands on his knee. Core light is not about strength, they whispered. It is about heart, about choices, about courage. Marcus stared into their bright silver eyes. Courage? I'm terrified right now. Courage is not the absence of fear, one twin said softly. It is acting even when you are afraid. A low rumble echoed from deep inside the tunnel. Dust fell from the ceiling. The twins gasped. Marcus tensed. What was that? The hunters, the twins whispered. They are changing their shape. They are making themselves small. 2. Come inside. Marcus felt his blood turn cold. The tunnel was already tight. If those machines squeezed through. We need to move, he said. The twins nodded quickly. But before we go, Marcus said, gripping the stone wall for support, tell me the truth. If the Vraks want my core light, what happens if they catch me? The twins hesitated. Then, in a tiny trembling voice, one answered, if they catch you, Marcus, everything that makes you human will die. Silence filled the tunnel. Outside, metal claws began scraping closer. Marcus straightened and clenched his fists. Fear still lived inside him, but so did something else, something brighter. Then we're not letting them catch us. The tunnel shook again as another heavy thud echoed through the darkness. Marcus pressed his back against the cold wall and stared down the passage. The scraping of metal claws grew louder. The Vraks hunters were forcing their bodies to twist and fold so they could crawl after them. The idea alone made his skin crawl. We move. Now, Marcus whispered. The twins nodded quickly. Their small blue lights brightened, guiding the path. In front of them, Marcus lifted one twin into his arms again, and the other ran close beside him. The tunnel air was thick with dust, and every breath tasted like dirt and rust. The mining tunnels twisted like a maze. Old wooden support beams creaked overhead. Rusty pipes ran along the ceiling, dripping cold water that splashed on Marcus's neck. He shivered, but he kept moving. Behind them, the metal screeching grew sharper like knives dragging across stone. They were getting closer. The twin in his arms tugged at his shirt. Marcus, the Vraks know these tunnels. They can sense vibrations. They know where we step. Well, that's great, Marcus muttered. Any chance they're allergic to old rocks? The twin blinked, confused by the joke. Rocks? Never mind, Marcus sighed. He wished he had something, anything to defend them. But he had entered the forest with only his backpack and his tired hands. He was no soldier. No hero. Just a man trying to get home from work. Now he was running from alien metal monsters in caves older than his grandparents. They reached a split in the tunnel. One path went left, narrow and steep. The other went right, wide but full of fallen rocks. Marcus hesitated. Which way? He asked. The twins pressed their foreheads together, eyes glowing. They were communicating without words, thinking as one mind. Then they looked at Marcus. Left, they said at the same time. But you must hurry. Marcus ran left. The tunnel grew smaller and tighter. Marcus had to crouch to avoid hitting his head. The twin ran behind him, breathing fast and shaky. The glow from their skin cast long shadows across the walls. Suddenly, a red flash shot past Marcus's shoulder and burned a hole through the stone ahead. The hunters had caught up. Marcus ducked and rolled behind a thick support beam. The twin in his arms covered its face. The other twin pressed against Marcus's leg, shaking. Marcus, the twin whispered, if they catch us here, we cannot run again. Marcus knew that already. The tunnel was too narrow now. If the machines trapped them here, it was over. He scanned the tunnel quickly, eyes searching for anything he could use. His heart pounded so loud he could hear it echo in his ears. Then he sawed a broken pipe overhead. Dripping dark liquid. Fuel. Maybe from old mining machines. Maybe dangerous. Perfect. Marcus set the twin on the ground gently. Stay behind me. He grabbed a loose metal rod lying nearby, rusty, but sharp enough. He jabbed upward at the pipe, hitting it again and again. The old metal cracked, then burst open. Thick black fuel poured out, spilling across the tunnel floor. The twins gasped. Softly. The Vrax hunter's red lights appeared around the bend. Its metal legs scraped the ground as it crawled toward them, folding its body like a monstrous insect. Sparks crackled between its claws. Marcus grabbed an old power cell battery from the ground. It must have fallen from mining gear years ago. He slammed it against the tunnel wall until tiny sparks sputtered out. Back up, he warned. The twins ran behind a boulder. The metal hunter lunged forward. Marcus threw the sparking battery into the fuel. Boom! A wave of fire burst through the tunnel. Heat slammed into Marcus like a wall. He fell backward, covering his face. The fire roared up the walls, lighting the whole tunnel orange. The Vrax hunter shrieked, its body scorching and bending from the blast. The ground shook violently. Rocks fell from the ceiling. A wooden beam snapped. Marcus! The twins cried. Marcus scrambled to his feet. His shoulder burned, but he ignored it. He grabbed the twins and ran as stones rained from above. The flaming hunter screeched behind them, but its legs shook and collapsed. It was dying, but the tunnel was collapsing too. Marcus sprinted down the passage, leaping over fallen debris. A massive boulder slammed down behind them, sealing the tunnel. Shut. Silence fell. Only Marcus's heavy breathing filled the darkness. A safe hollow. For now the tunnel opened into a wider chamber, an old mining room with rusted equipment covered in dust. The air here was still, untouched by the collapse. Marcus fell to his knees, shaking. The twins rushed to him, placing their glowing hands on his arms. You saved us, one whispered. The other added softly, but more hunters are coming. Marcus closed his eyes. Of course they are, he sighed. He let out a long breath, then stood again. Exhausted, scared, but still moving. Come on, he said. We need to go deeper. The twins nodded. And together, they walked into the deeper darkness, where even the machines feared to go. The deeper they walked into the old tunnels, the colder the air became. Small drops of water fell from the ceiling and echoed through the stone like lonely heartbeats. Marcus held one twin's hand while the other stayed close to his side, there. Soft blue light guiding the way. He was exhausted, his legs heavy, his lungs tight, but he forced himself forward. Every few seconds he glanced over his shoulder, expecting red lights to slice through the darkness again, but there were none. For the first time since the crash, the tunnels behind them were quiet. Too quiet. Marcus slowed down. Why aren't they following us? They should have reached that last cave by now. The twins exchanged a look, their glowing eyes reflecting fear. They are not following. One twin said softly. They are circling ahead, the other added. The Vrax do not chase in a straight line. They think like hunters, they trap. Marcus felt a cold wave roll up his spine. So they're trying to cut us off. Both twins nodded in perfect sync. Great, just perfect. He wiped sweat from his forehead and looked around the tunnel. Every shadow felt like a threat. Every soft echo felt like claws tapping on stone. We need another path, Marcus said. There is one, a twin whispered. But you must trust. U.S. Marcus frowned. I've been trusting you since the forest. No, the twin said gently. You have been helping us. Trust is different. Marcus didn't know how to answer that. He wanted to trust them. They were children, scared and alone. But he had also jumped into a nightmare he never asked for. He kneeled down to face them. What do you need me to do? The twins took a breath at the same time. Their glows brightened. slightly like tiny stars fighting the darkness. "We must show you something," said the first twin. "Something about the future," said the second. Marcus blinked. "The future? What are you talking about?" The twins held each other's hands and stepped closer to Marcus. Their eyes shone brighter, silver turning to white. Marcus felt a warm pulse around him, like a soft wave washing through his chest. "Marcus," they whispered together, "we can see small pieces of what may come." Marcus felt the air shift. The tunnel disappeared around him for a moment. He stood in a blank white space, no walls, no floor, just light. Then images flickered before him. He saw himself running alone in the tunnels. He saw the twins caught in bright red coils of energy. He saw a dark metal hand grabbing his shoulder. He saw his own eyes turning empty, lifeless. Marcus gasped and stumbled backward as the vision faded. His breath came out in sharp bursts. What was that? Was that real? The twins looked up at him with sad, knowing eyes. "It is one possible path," they said softly. Marcus rubbed his face with trembling hands. "You're telling me I'm going to die?" "Not if you choose another path," one twin said. "But you cannot choose it alone," the other added. Marcus swallowed hard and forced himself to breathe slower. Their vision left a cold knot in his stomach. He wasn't ready to die. He didn't want to die in a tunnel miles under the earth, hunted by alien machines. He still had a life, a job, people who would miss him. So, what's the other path? Marcus asked. The twins stepped closer. "You fight," they said simply. Marcus let out a breathless laugh. "Fight? Against metal monsters from space? With what? My bare hands?" "You fight with your core light," one twin said. "You fight with your heart," the other added. Marcus shook his head. "I don't even know what that means." The twins touched his hands. Their small fingers were warm. "You know more than you think," they whispered. "Your core light listens to your courage. When you believe in your strength, it will answer." Marcus looked down at his hands. They were just hands, dirty, scraped, human. Nothing special. But something inside him, something small, stirred. A spark of warmth. A tiny pulse. He didn't know if it was belief or fear, maybe both. Before Marcus could speak, a deep rumble echoed from ahead. Dust drifted from the ceiling. The twins stiffened. "They're coming, from the front." "And behind too," Marcus guessed. The twins nodded. "They are closing the trap." Marcus's heart hammered, but the small spark inside him glowed brighter. "Then we break out of the trap," he said firmly. "But I need to know where to go." The twins pointed to a narrow side passage Marcus hadn't noticed, a slit in the stone. "Almost hidden. It leads to the old sinkhole," one twin said. "The wracks fear unstable ground," the other whispered. Marcus clenched his jaw. "Then that's where we go." The twins held his hands tighter. "Marcus," they whispered, "you survive only if you trust us completely." He looked into their glowing eyes. "I'm with you," he said. "All the way." And with that, they stepped into the darkness toward the sinkhole, toward danger, and toward the future the twins hoped to change. The narrow passage felt like walking through the throat of a sleeping stone giant. The air grew colder with every step. Marcus crouched low, moving slowly so the twins could squeeze through the tight cracks in front of him. Their small glowing bodies lit the rough rock walls, painting long trembling shadows on the floor far behind them. The echo of metal legs clicked like a slow heartbeat. The Vrax hunters were closing in. The deeper they went, the sharper the smell of wet earth became. A faint breeze touched Marcus's face, a good sign. It meant the tunnel was leading to an open space. Soon, the walls opened into a wide cavern. Moonlight poured through a massive hole in the ceiling, lighting the center of the room like a silver spotlight. And there it was, the sinkhole, a giant drop in the ground, wide and deep, swallowing the earth like a hungry mouth. The edges crumbled under the weight of time. Broken rocks, old support beams, and rusted mining tools lay scattered around the rim. The twins stopped at the edge and stared down with wide eyes. Marcus took a shaky breath. "We need to cross this." "No," one twin whispered. "We need to use it," the other said. Before Marcus could ask how, the ground trembled. A deep, vibrating growl rose from the tunnel behind them. They were out of time. A blast of hot air shot into the cavern as the Vrax hunter emerged. Not the small crawling ones from before, this one was much bigger. A massive metal creature shaped like a twisted scorpion stood at the tunnel mouth, its armor black like burned stone, its red eyes blazing with hunger. Marcus froze. The Vrax hunter stepped forward, its heavy feet shaking the ground. Its clawed arms opened wide like jaws ready to strike. A glowing core pulsed inside its chest, beating like an artificial heart. The twins clutched Marcus's arms. "This is the leader," they whispered. "The one who takes core light." Marcus swallowed hard. He could feel the creature staring straight into him, sensing him, wanting him. The hunter raised its tail long, sharp, and crackling with red electricity. "We can't run," Marcus said quietly. "Not from this thing." "No," the twin said softly. "This time you stand." The warmth inside Marcus small since the tunnels suddenly pulsed again. A deep throb spread through his chest. Fear and strength mixed together until he didn't know where one ended and the other began. He stepped between the twins and the hunter. The machine let out a metallic scream. Lights shot from its claws, blasting stone apart as Marcus dodged and rolled to the side. Rocks rained from above. Dust filled the air. Marcus's shoulder burned from the fall, but he pushed himself up. The hunter turned and lunged. Marcus grabbed a broken metal pipe off the ground and swung it. Sparks exploded as the pipe struck the hunter's leg, but it barely made a dent. Twins held each other's hands, trembling. Their glows brightened, blending into a single bright aura. "Marcus," they cried, "we can help, but you must open your mind." Marcus ducked as the hunter's tail stabbed into the ground where he'd just stood. The shockwave knocked him backward, sliding him toward the sinkhole's edge. His boots scraped the crumbling dirt. One more inch and he would fall. He stared at the twins. "Tell me what to do," he shouted. The twins closed their eyes, and their glows pulsed brighter, this time spreading toward Marcus like warm blue mist. "Let us in your mind," they whispered. "Let us share your sight." Marcus felt the mist touch his forehead. His vision blurred. The cavern faded. For a moment, he felt himself floating, not in air, but in something deeper. Then something incredible happened. Marcus could see through the hunter. He could see its joints, its circuits, its pulsing power core. And he could see its weak point, a small exposed node near the back of its neck. The world snapped back into focus. Marcus let out a shocked breath. "I know where to hit it," he whispered. The hunter charged again, claws tearing deep grooves in the stone floor. Marcus ran toward it instead of away. At the last second he slid under its body, feeling the heat of its power core as he passed beneath it. He jumped onto a rock ledge and pushed off hard, launching himself onto the hunter's back. The twins shouted, "Now!" Marcus swung the pipe with every ounce of strength in his body. The metal cracked against the node. Sparks exploded. The hunter's red lights flickered. Marcus hit it again, and again. The hunter screeched and spun wildly, stumbling backward, right toward the sinkhole. Marcus leapt off the machine just as its back legs crumbled. The ground gave way. The hunter toppled, sliding into the sinkhole with a roar of metal and sparks, then silence. Only Marcus's heavy breathing filled the air. He stood at the edge, stunned, covered in dust, sweat, and the faint glow of blue light still clinging to his skin. The twins ran to him and hugged his legs tightly. "You did it," they whispered. Marcus looked down at his trembling hands for the first time. He believed the twins were right. There was something inside him. Something powerful, Something awake. Asterisk. Only Marcus's breathing filled the air, slow, heavy, shaken. Dust drifted around him like falling snow. The sinkhole swallowed the last sparks from the fallen Vrax hunter far below, leaving only darkness where a great threat had once stood. The twins held onto Marcus tightly, their small bodies trembling with relief. "You stopped the leader," one twin whispered. "You stopped the future we saw," the other added. Marcus gave a weak smile, though his muscles still shook. "I didn't do it alone. You two helped me see what to do." The twins stepped back slightly and looked up at him. Their silvery eyes shimmered like small moons. "You trusted us," they said together, "and because of that, you lived." Marcus sat down on a large rock, exhausted. His hands felt warm, too warm, and he realized he was still glowing faintly blue. His heart thumped with a strange rhythm, as if the core light the twins spoke about was now fully awake inside him. He stared at his hands. "What am I now?" he asked quietly. The twins sat on either side of him, leaning against his arms like children seeking comfort. "You are still Marcus," one twin said. "But you are not the same Marcus," the other whispered. Marcus laughed softly. "That's less comforting than you think." The twins didn't understand the humor, but they smiled anyway. The sky breaks open, a soft rumble echoed through the cavern. But it wasn't the Vrax. This sound came from above, deep, humming, gentle. The moonlight dimmed for a moment, blocked by a huge shape passing over the opening. Marcus stood and shielded his eyes. "What now?" he muttered. The twins gasped and grabbed his hands tightly. "They're here," one cried. "Our people found us," the other shouted. A large, elegant ship descended slowly above the sinkhole. It didn't shine with harsh lights like human ships. Instead, it glowed with soft blue waves like a living star, peaceful and warm. Runes shimmered across its surface, changing shape like ripples on water. A beam of gentle light stretched down from the ship to the cavern floor. A Lyran rescue craft. Marcus exhaled, relief washing through him like warm rain. The twins' faces brightened with joy. "We are safe now." Marcus, kneeling beside them, asked, "They won't take me, right?" The twins tilted their heads, confused. "Take you? Why would they take you?" "I don't know," Marcus said with a breathless laugh. "I'm glowing. Aliens are hunting me. And now your people show up in the middle of the night. Forgive me for being a little nervous." The twins giggled soft, musical sounds. "No," one twin said. "They will thank you," the other added. "You saved us." The Lyran leader arrives from the beam of light. Another figure slowly descended. Taller than Marcus, elegant and luminous like starlight. Its long cloak floated behind it, woven with patterns that seemed to shift like constellations. It approached Marcus, bowed its head, and spoke in a peaceful, echoing voice. "You protected our young when you had no reason to. You fought the Vrax, even when death chased you. For this, we honor you, Marcus Hale." Marcus scratched the back of his neck. Thank you. "I think," the leader looked at the twins, "you two have done well. You created a bond that saved not only yourselves, but another life." The twins pressed close to Marcus, proud and shy. Marcus cleared his throat. "So, what happens now? Am I safe?" The leader's expression softened, but there was sadness in its eyes. "You defeated the hunter today," it said. "But the Vrax felt your core light. They will sense it again." Marcus's stomach dropped. "So I'm not safe." "Not here," the leader said gently. The twins walked in front of Marcus, holding his hands. "You can come with us," one whispered. "To learn what your core light means," the other added. "To grow it, to understand who you are." Marcus froze. Leave Earth? Leave his home, his job, his entire life? But if he stayed, the Vrax would return. And next time, he might not survive. And the people he cared about could be caught in the crossfire. The twins looked at him with wide, hopeful eyes. "You saved us," they said softly. Now let us save you." Marcus looked up at the glowing ship, then down at his glowing hands. His old life was gone. His new one was calling from the stars. He took a breath, long, steady, and full of quiet courage. "Okay," he whispered, "take me with you." The twins smiled and hugged him tightly. The Lyran leader lifted its hand, and the beam of light wrapped around all three of them, warm and gentle. Slowly, they rose toward the ship, leaving the dark cavern behind. As Marcus rose into the sky, he looked down at the world he had known all his life, fading gently into the night. He wasn't running anymore. He was rising, going toward a future he never imagined, and a destiny the universe had been waiting for.